What's up, guys? Welcome to Q&A Mondays. I'm Thad Barnette. If you're a homeowner looking for a new metal roof, it's really important that you find a credible and qualified installer in your area to complete your project. That's going to ensure you have the best quality roof possible to get the longest life out of that product. And today I've got Jeff Hock from Sheffield Metals. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
All the information that we're discussing today comes straight from Sheffield Metals' free ebook about how to find qualified metal roofing installers in your area. I'll leave a link in the description below. You can download that for free and follow along. So we're gonna talk about how to find a good qualified contractor in your area and how to make sure that you're both on the same page during that consultation and throughout the installation and process of your roofing project. So first, let's talk about, how do you find metal roofing contractors in your area? What is that research process like, and what are some ways that you can locate those contractors?
So I think most people, when they are thinking about getting a metal roof or looking at a new roof in general, probably the first place they're going to go is the internet. They're going to Google. They're going to see who's around them. They're going to look at reviews, and it's kind of it's a great tool to be able to see who's local to your area and see what people are saying about them. Right? If you got somebody 4 or 5 stars, they might end up on the list, and the guy that has 300 1-star reviews probably isn't. You're probably not even going to bother calling them. Other ways that people go about finding qualified contractors, if they have a particular company or material supplier that they want to deal with, right? Say if, you want a Sheffield Metals roof, you might look up Sheffield Metals, see the different branches and locations that are available, and you're probably going to call a local branch or the one that's closest to you to see if there's any qualified installers in the area. Another avenue is, roof organizations, different states have different chapters. So you might, like Florida, for instance, has the FRSA, Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Association. Colorado has the Colorado Roofing Association. So you might reach out to a state association and, see who they recommend for people in your area that way. A lot of times, too, you might have a friend that just got a roof put on, right? And you see their roof and it's like, wow, it looks great. That might be an avenue, going with somebody's work that you've already seen. Or, probably last on the list is, maybe if you're doing a new home build or something like that, you have a architect that you're working with, or maybe you've worked with a builder in the past, and they're going to provide recommendations for you with people they've done work with as well. Kind of one big theme to all of this, though, is that you're getting information from people that know about the roofing companies that they're recommending. Just because somebody does roofing or buys roofing doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best installer. So that's why it's important to reach out and find out what type of work they do, and go that route. Just because somebody's a customer doesn't necessarily mean that they're quality, grade A, #1 installer.
Okay, Jeff, so when we're looking for contractors, is it important to consult with more than one company during this process?
Absolutely. A roof is a big investment. Metal roofs, a bigger investment. No matter what type of roof you end up getting, a roof protects everything in your home. So it's really important to make sure that you're getting a roof that's not only going to be aesthetically pleasing, but it's going to provide the properties that's proper for your area, and that it's installed correctly, and that you're not going to have issues with it down the road. So absolutely, it's important to make sure you talk to a few different people. If nothing else, you're going to get competitive bids, right? So it's gonna help you financially, make a decision of, good, better, best type situations. And also, if you get 3 bids, 2 of them are around the same, and then one guy's either really, really cheap or really, really high, it gives you a means to start asking questions. Why is your system a quarter of the price less? What do you not have in there that maybe these other people do? If you have somebody that's really, really high, it's kind of the opposite. Why is your system 25% more? What makes you different, stand out from these people? Because again, there's a lot of different products. There's a lot of different types of material. There's a lot of different accessories that go involved with most styles of roofs. So these are just ways that you can start asking questions to get more educated on what they're offering you.
So let's say I've compiled a list of 10 roofing contractors in my area. I want to talk to 3 of them. How do I vet those contractors to make sure they're reliable and qualified and somebody that I want to talk to?
So a lot of it, I think, again, can be done on the internet, right? If somebody has a good website, you can probably find out a lot of information before you ever even bother contacting them. And then if you do still need to contact them, your list of questions is shorter, right? One, again, going back to it, is reviews. What type of reviews do they have? Google, Yelp, whatever service you want to provide, use to track down reviews is a great source to get people's opinions. I will say when you look at reviews, anybody that's ever looked at reviews, anything that is completely all 5 stars, 3,000 reviews, there's not anybody to say anything bad. I look at those a little deeper. And then at the same time too, if they got a lot of maybe 2 or 3 star reviews, I kind of look at why. Sometimes people leave a bad review when there was one little thing that probably was not common, ends up bringing their total score down. So don't just look at the stars, read through the reviews, and kind of make those judgments on your own. Another big one to look for is, seeing if they're licensed and they have insurance. Huge one. You got people working on your property. You want to make sure that they're insured and can be there and that they have the proper licensing for the area that you're in. You want a company that's going to provide references and be able to show their work. I've had customers, homeowners that I've talked to in the past, and, they've driven around and actually seen roofs that, the companies have installed. It's a great way to see at least the aesthetics of somebody's work, right? When you have a list of questions and things you want to talk about, they should be able to provide those answers. Not only should they be able to provide the answers, but you also kind of get a feeling for the attitude that of the people that you're dealing with when they're talking to you about these answers. They should be knowledgeable. They should be able to answer your questions pretty easily. It's what they do for a living. You probably shouldn't stump them too much. With that being said, answering questions, things like that, you should be able to get a hold of them. You shouldn't have to call a company 5-6 times and leave a message and never get a call back. A lot of it comes down to that I hear from people is, I really like these people. You have a good comfort level with them. Everybody has their own intuition, however slight or however much they depend on it. But usually you get a feeling about people that you're dealing with. And probably based on a lot of those things we just talked about, you're going to get a good feeling or a bad feeling about the company that you're talking to. You want a company that you're comfortable dealing with and, feel that they can resolve your issues if they come up through the process.
So what are some things that a homeowner should pay attention to during a consultation, and what are some of those questions that they should be asking?
So in the beginning, you do your research. Like I said, most people have an idea of what they want. Homeowners especially are getting more and more educated on things before they even talk to somebody to start getting bids. So they probably, have an idea of the panel that they want. They probably have an idea of the color that they want. They probably even have an idea of the gauge, and the panel width that they want. One, you got to see if a company can provide those things for you. If you know that you want a 1.5-inch mechanically seamed panel that's 16 inches wide and matte black, you want to, start talking to the companies that you're looking at and making sure that they can provide the thing that you want. Probably what'll happen is they'll come out, they'll field measure your roof, be able to get an estimate on the size and the material that it's going to take to complete it. This time might be the time to talk to the contractor about different things, or it might just be somebody that's coming out and doing the field measurement work, right? And then they have another person come out afterwards and sit down and go over a proposal with you. But either way, they're going to see what they're going to be working with before they can quote you, right? Because they need to see what's actually going on in your roof. That's important to happen. When they come to talk about the quote, these are times that you're going to start talking about the particulars of your project. What panel you're using, what gauge you're using, if there's any state approvals that you need, like Florida, you need FBC approvals, things like that. You want to make sure that those are going to be offered and that they can comply with it. I always, ask for, what installation details are you going to be using, right? Because one of the big things we see with homeowners, either during or after the fact, is guys will be up on the roof putting it on, and they'll be like, man, it just doesn't look right, for whatever reason the case may be. If you have that information up front, of how things are going to be installed in different areas of your roof, then you know if they're installing it for what was discussed or for what they said. So, how is my roof going to be installed is a big one. How's payments going to be handled? Do you pay all up front? Do you pay a certain amount up front? Then do you pay at the end? After you get that information, then you kind of see how they handle them moving forward. And, follow-up time is adequate. You're not trying to chase somebody down for a quote. You talk about any warranties that you might be receiving with your product. Those are all things that you're going to be able to compare the different quotes to and kind of compare apples to apples or apples to oranges.
All right, thanks very much, Jeff. Really appreciate it. If you want to learn more, make sure you download that free ebook, How to Find a Qualified Metal Roofing Installer in Your Area, on SheffieldMetals.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you have any questions, comment down below. We'd love to answer them. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Thad Barnette. We'll catch you next time.